The first time I went to the gym was last year, and it was random. I was doing a beauty project. I just took like any beauty tips from friends, and I did anything they told me to do. I'm usually judgmental, so I don't really take anybody's advice. And then a friend of mine said like, oh, you should just come to my gym. So I just went there, and it happened to be a boxing gym, and I just got hooked. And the first trainer I had is the most hippopotamus looking guy. This Cuban trainer called Laszlo, and he was like so good because he just doesn't really speak English, so he kept going like listen to me, listen to me, and then he kept teaching. Only English word he said during the whole 2 hours was listen to me. And it didn't make sense at the beginning, but then it's like listen to me with everything except ears, maybe something like that. Like I was listening to, I'm actually watching his feet, or like I'm paying more attention. But then this year I have a different Cuban trainer, and he always tell me like, watch, and it's like really interesting this time. This is not about learning how to throw a punch, but this is more about defense, Listen to me. He always call on me that, Aki, you're not watching. If you're not watching, I'm gonna want to punch you. Because, like I'm not watching the punch coming. I could throw a punch, but I'm not being able to watch something coming. Like by the time I noticed, like my first sparring, like by the time I noticed, the punch was here, So it's like you really have to watch. And I realized for like 30 years, past 30 years in my life, I trained myself to not watch, basically. I had some kind of I always like walked around. I had a really long hair to the waist, and I just had the hair in front of my face so that nobody can see me, and then I don't really have to see something I don't want to watch. I just basically hate people, so that's how I block off my world. And I learned not to see, And sometimes like going to abroad, and then people told me you have to watch people's eye when you talk, otherwise they think you're rude. And so I just try to kind of look that way, but not watching, like, not focusing on the face, like maybe focus on here or here. It's just like learned not to watch. Aki, watch! I think when I was small, I was playing with my brother, 2 brothers, and then the neighbor had this huge dog, like a collie, like huge dog for a kid. It was like as big as me, And then like one time, I think the dog was so excited, like it was housed in this small Japanese house, and then it came out, and then it didn't have a leash yet, and then the dog just like came at us, running and came at us. It's excitement. And like we just got really surprised, And at that time, my brother is like 6 years older than me, or 7 years older than me, and they just kind of went behind me. So I was like this 5 years old, was like, I just remember a dog coming at me. I don't remember what happened afterwards. Anyway, at that time I realized like I cannot count on anybody in this world, I should really watch. It's hard to watch, So, what kind of audience is your ideal one? Is that some audience that doesn't have body, maybe? Or like something that's just like, I just don't want them, but I need them. Well, I can totally get that chick, kind of thing. And then I always also feel like, I could fight with him. I can't think of it. Another thing is, I'm really scared. But every time I see somebody that I hate, just like something replaces, and the fear just disappears. and I could just fight. And then so, Aki, look at yourself in the mirror. And I just looked at myself. And this boxing gym is like all mirror, you know? So I could see them. In fact, I always jump rope in front of it. I'll do all the exercise in front of the mirror, but I never see myself in there. Even though, of course, I see myself in it. I train myself not to really focus on it. But I was so busy doing other physical stuff, and then somebody told me to look at yourself, and I just actually watched it. And it was so scary because what I saw in the mirror was this skinny, wimpy girl. There's no way this girl is gonna be strong. But I always feel like I'm a green giant in the gym, and like I couldn't believe it. I got defeated, and I couldn't do the work anymore. I almost fainted. And I went home really devastated, you know. Next day I couldn't wake up, I couldn't leave the house for 2 days. It's just depressing. And I always thought I'm a green giant, but at least I want to be able to become one, you know, even when I'm not. And I don't think that person in the mirror was anywhere close. It's so sad. And when I'm walking in the street usually, I feel like a person walking towards me would like walk on the other side of the street because I'm so invincible, but they don't. They usually just walk past, and I kind of have to go around myself, and it doesn't make any sense because I should be green giant in me, you know. This gap is too huge. That is not me. That is not me, you know. Like physically, maybe I'm not that big. And it's sad. The green giant can be me, or the person, the wimpy girl is reality. I can't tell which is more reality. But if I go by shape, I don't know if that's probably me.
Listen to me.